Say sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. So, dear Dharma friends, so even though we have these facilities like this to practice meditation, and there are a lot of people saying this is very good, now we can practice at home, so like that. Always you have to remember, when it comes to this samatha and vipassana meditation, and learning the Dhamma and learning any religion by yourself, you cannot do it. There are some people they can do, but always you have to remember not to be too happy regarding the situation, and but only thing that we have to use this, that's why we use this way. So otherwise, that we have to remember always these teachings is can accurately transfer in person. So that is the method of the teaching Dhamma. Not somebody saying something, not somebody listening and understanding from far away. So, but we have no choice. This is going to keep happening, and in the future, this is going to become more different. But still, we have to remember, whenever we have opportunity, we should know what we have to do, what is the right thing. And it happened from the ancient time also. In the beginning, they used to bring it through the memory, and then what happened, they used to write down things. So when they write down the Dhamma or the Tripitaka or any books, and they had a great challenge because they didn't have the too many facilities like today. So like papers, and they had a very few facilities. So then what happened? Even the palm tree leaves, they used that. So, and in the before that, they used to put in stones. So in palm trees, and they put maximum words in a very little piece of palm tree leaves. So then what happened? They had to put maximum words, and then they didn't separate that much word. So then whoever read the sutras, they have challenge, and to recognize and separate the words exactly at the right place. Even if not, another thing is, if something repeat, like last paragraph, the same kind of things, and they adding to next paragraph, they only use 1 or 2 words from that. And then they continue after that mentioning that this related to the previous chapter, the paragraph. So like that, there are methods that they used to do. So even it happened in the Bible also. So as example, and when you put the example, when you put the God now here, and if you don't keep the gap, and how about if you put too close this all the 3 words, and you can read God nowhere. So God nowhere. So it's going to give a completely opposite meaning. So then when you read the books, and even that when you read the books, or even you read the sutras, you read the Bible or the Quran or anything, one of the mistake mostly what we does, we just go with what is there rather than recognizing how it should be. So that's why you should have certain background, especially when it go to Dhamma. and see what is the essence. And always you have to keep that essence, and then always you have to keep the 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 main idea, and with that you have to reference that all the study you do. So then, even though many people have the access to get into this nowadays, and many views that the people, many people watch this, but we don't know behind themselves what kind of things they do and what kind of ideas they have. And everybody say, oh, we practice meditation now. Oh, a lot of people practice meditation, but tomorrow it's going to become sometimes very crazy world. It can happen. So that's why we no need to, unnecessarily massage our head. So we have to be very careful, and we have to always be that reasonable, and we have to always be mindful and understand. So that is one part. So then it is yourself, you have to remember. Always, that's why I'm telling, so always you have to look what you need. You have to question that. It is your responsibility. So don't allow anybody, even me or anybody, whatever you listening, you don't allow anyone to unnecessarily get into your mind. You no need to that. You have to keep that right. You have to keep that fresh newness within yourself. And that is where you're going to get the right teachings out of it. So otherwise, if you just collecting information and go with that whatever come to you, that doesn't make any sense. And the vipassana, we cannot go like that way. So that is something to remember, because there are a lot of things on the way in this journey. There are a lot of things change. And the other thing is the compassion word in the Eastern world. It is completely different when it come to the the Western world. And it's kind of like uh, a kind of like a word, compassion. So the compassion is kind of like you go to the church, and you go to the priest, and you tell whatever the things that you have done, any mistakes, and then so that kind of they they say things, and then you can purify yourself. You get the forgiveness for that thing. And there are some articles, and they try to combine this compassion is same thing happening when you do this compassion or something like that kind. That is completely different, but there is a deeper. Somebody need to have the compassion to hear to somebody, but it is completely different method. So it, even in the Eastern also it happened, like when you go to India, in Sri Lanka, that countries, you see that the god sitting on the top of the lotus, and the people worship, and the people don't recognize the message sometimes. And how this huge big body, the huge body, and sitting on a lotus, and what is it saying? And can you behave without harming? Can you be gentle? Is there any way that you can behave gentle? When you be able to become gentle, you become kind of like a god. You have the godly nature. If you able to use anything, see, if you able to sit on a flower without harming to crushing that flower, you become kind of like a different person. And see, even 5 minutes, 10 minutes, when you sit on a cushion, your whole body weight, and that cushion day by day. See the couch, you sit, sofa, you sit, and after few months, what happened? It's gone. Why? Because we don't have kind of like that gentleness when we use things. And And sometimes when you go to the temple, or there are goats, and the many with the many animals, and sitting on animal, and the people worship, but they sometimes they didn't get the message, you know. And how you can that keep the environment around you. Can you have the connection with that? It's a kind of like the can you this kind certain animals kind of like they use as a vehicle. That's mean, it take you to the certain. Can you use animals to approach that whatever the things in your life? So there are kind of like that different interpretations, but people misunderstand. That is why when it comes to meditation, you have to be very careful. And samatha or vipassana, you have to be very careful with them. Don't misunderstand. So then again and again, you have to look yourself. What is the meaning of it? What this is? What it is that? So that way you slowly get into the right path. Otherwise, otherwise, what you may be in your head, or whatever your friends told, or maybe what you heard somewhere. No, always keep the the freedom in your mind. Don't get into even the meditation. Even look at the meditation, the samadhi. Even you not get into, oh, I achieved this. So like that, you not go get into that. You let it go. Even in the vipassana. So whatever you experience come, you not hold it to that. You release it. You let go it. So like that, if you able to maintain like that way, then you going to little bit go deeper. And another thing is this dependent interdepending nature, and dependent and that depending and arising. In the vipassana, in ordinary level, we have to accept. Even we use that the study point of reference. The that we we use these things that interdepending, and mostly the things we use as interdepending. But there are things when it comes to vipassana level, you understand not everything interdepending. As example, apple. When it in the tree, on the tree, of course it's interdependent. But how about once the apple come out of the tree? Is there that apple still that interdepending with the tree or not? How about the banana that you eat? So it is interdepending with that, or it going to go with something else? So always it's interdepending to its origin, or it always going to depending arising. So like that, there are things. So that's why, oh, this is like this. You don't need to get into that way. So always remember then, keep that freshness, keep that newness, even that whatever that you understand. Don't hold it. Oh, this is like so. That freedom is one thing in vipassana level when you practice this meditation. That inner freedom you always have to keep yourself. Never get into even the idea of whatever that unmovable, unchangeable idea. So if you able to use that way, what you learn itself make you more wiser and powerful, and make you free inside you. So that is the most beautiful teaching inherent this Buddha's teaching. It's make you free, and at the same time it make you open and make you wiser. But what we learn mostly, we hold it to something, and we believe that going to make us wiser. No, when you release, and you're going to, you become more better than that. So that you have to keep that inner freedom. It is a skill. It is a skill that you have to develop. That is the method then in the Buddha's teaching. That is the method you get through the Vipassana practice. It seems like how, as example, blood. Some people, when they see blood, they get disappointed. They don't like, they cannot do anything. But some people, when they see blood, they go to it, they work for it, and they do something for it. See, these two different behavior reactions for the same thing. So when you learn in the Vipassana level, the same thing. You develop, when you see something, you don't go away from it. You go towards this. You look for you look solutions for that. You look what you can do for it. So, but still, you're not going to hold it to that. So, like a doctor, when they see the blood, they don't afraid for that. They look for it. They know there is a reason for it, and they try to cure that. And but they're not going to hold it to blood. And then there are some people, they don't want to see it, and they run away from it. So in your mind, you have to develop. So whatever that you see, you go towards it, but it is not to hold it, but you look for solutions. You analyze it, you recognize it, but at the same time, you become free from it. End of that all, you clean your hands and you come out. So what you understand, can you keep collecting? Can you wash your and come out of it? So develop that kind of method. Keep the freedom inside you. Don't bound to even the ideas. Don't bound to teachings, and don't become a debtor to even your own practice. So with that, today we're going to talk about the tolerance. So when it comes to this Vipassana level, that the tolerant is a kind of uh, one of the important thing that you have to practice intensely, knowingly, that you, because if you don't practice this, not only even in the Vipassana meditation, even in day-to-day life, whoever you become successful in your conventional life, and you cannot deal with this society. So then you have to learn to be uh, to be tolerant. So it is a skill, profitable skill that you have to develop. Even when you sit for meditation, that the sitting itself help us to practice tolerance, and then the being patient, and even that whatever the mental object once we have, it help us to go with. And at the same time, there are many other things in day-to-day life when the situations come. So it become very always why there are many disturbances going to come to us. So then that this tolerant is learning and studying about it and practicing it deeply is very necessary. So when it come to that one is that conventional tolerance, relevant. And in that relevant, in the conventional level of tolerance, how you can practice that? Dealing with the heat and dealing with the cold. Remember that the physical things you learn, and hunger, sleepiness, thirsty. So any kind of physical that uncomfort or the discomfort. So this kind of things you have to practice. You have to learn to go with it. Always not to go against that. Just to be a little bit, it is okay. Let it be. accept it, and see how far that you can go without changing anything, without conditioning the situation according to the way you want. Learn little bit like that. So that is one of the important thing wherever you go. And then you will see, even practicing meditation and even in day-to-day life, and it going to change a lot. And that is conventional level of tolerance. And the supreme level of tolerance, in the vipassana level of tolerance, is something else. So vipassana level of tolerance is like when somebody disturb, when something happen, and when you that if you don't like it, if you feel kind of like unhappy about it, and always remember that people caught up with their own emotions, they are caught up with their own karma, and they don't see it. And because of that, they do a lot of things unknowingly. It is a wrong thing, it is not good to do. And they are behavior, and they are innocent, you cannot do anything. So once you understand that, and it going to make kind of like a compassion inside you regarding themselves. So that is very necessary. Even yourself, you have to be tolerant, even your life. One of the biggest mistake that we do, we think we can fix this life. We think we are smart than this nature, and we think, oh, I can do this, I can. So remember, the very first thing, especially when you come to kind of like that, just not the ordinary meditation, just not the ordinary practice. This is not for just the ordinary person. If you really, come to meditation, always remember, you cannot fix this life. You cannot fix anything. If you able to understand that, half of the journey you done. But still, knowingly that you can become conventional life, you can become a very good person, you can become successful, you can become very, the successful businessman, and you can have a very luxurious life. Knowingly that you cannot fix this anything in this life. We cannot do anything. Only thing is, we have to find a solution to get out of this. If you have that intention, a lot of things going to change around you. So that is come in the spiritual level of tolerance. Other than, if you don't have that kind of wisdom, you always go with the life, and then you have a lot of resistance, anger, unknowing, even regarding other people, situations, regarding our own life, even regarding the samsara. I need a better than this. I need a life better than this. You don't accept this kind of life situation. Even the the I don't want to go to a lower caste life. I want to have a high caste lifestyle. So like that, you don't see it. But in when it come to that, the once you understand this vipassana level of tolerance, you become more wiser than this all. And even that you see what is the danger and what is the beauty in life. Remember, in the most important thing in life, the success in life is not come out of the good, you born in a very rich place. No, the success in this journey, if you able to get closer to dharma or the truth, wherever you are lucky. You have a good place to live. It doesn't matter you are rich and you become a kind of like a, this very luxurious person. If you are far away from dharma or the freedom, that is not good for you. So then, when it comes to tolerance in life, you always have to look what you go against. And if you always look for the comfort and the success in conventional success, and if you kind of like resisting the other things around you, and then that create a kind of like a different view in regarding the life. So mostly if you look at this rich people, sometimes even I don't want to become a puppy or the cat or the Bill Gates. You know why? Because look at these people that they, even that dogs not free. They they create, make cloth and socks and many kind of things. That we have seen dogs in our countries, you know, and freely that animal need to be free. Who, what dog come to this world, to wear clothes and put a hat and sunglasses. And you just people do that. You abusing the very nature of that human life, the animal life. So I am not thinking to even to become like that, you know, even in a rich family. Why? Because you are going far away from the freedom. You go far away from the truth. But people like to become like that. So then you have to think that what you don't like in life. So, and sometimes poverty. In the poverty sometimes become a bliss. So personally, my father and mother was poor when I born in that family. And that was so lucky for me. Now I understand, you know. And then my high priest was so poor. But I knew I had some of my friends, they had a very rich high priest. And they still, so that the stuck in that same place like a prison. But my poverty helped me to, you know, to come through this journey and find the dharma day by day, to find the dharma. Then every day, I think that poverty was so, you know, that the bliss for me. That is kind of like a more. I am became more rich through the dharma because of that poverty. So see that when it comes to vipassana level, it is, that's why it is just not the idea. You have to go deeper and see, and how you going to see the life in a different way. It's not actually in the different way. That is the the exactly the truth that you have to see. So that's why when it comes to the spiritual level of tolerance, is especially you have to remember to see deeply and recognizing, and how it come as a blessings for you, and how it become a bliss for you. And that is where you're going to accept it. And then as a result, you become kind, and you have the compassion to others because you know the right reasons. Otherwise, you go against things, you get mad about things, and you go fight for others with that. And you don't see that the, the right view. So then in the vipassana level, that remember this tolerance. So in the beginning, you have to practice no matter what, even in the conventional lives, forget about meditation, even conventional life. Whatever the life that you have, always remember, teach your children to be tolerant and be patient and go with the situation. And whatever they ask, don't give them. And little bit learn, teach them to maintain themselves and to bear that little bit themselves. That is a gift for them. So then when you sit for meditation, you're not always going to change the posture. You're not always going to rub your body. You're not always going to find your comfort. You're going to become a little bit okay. So in the sleepy time come, you're going to be a little bit okay. If you are thirsty, you're going to be okay a little bit. If you don't eat a little bit or miss your meal, you don't think it's the end of the world. You're going to be okay with that. So like that, that in conventionally, then it brings a kind of like the good mindset to yourself. And in the vipassana level of, and the supreme level of tolerance is you see the karma. And that is where the great compassion arises. You see when other people suffer and they disturb, and sometimes it comes as a disturb. You know? And sometimes people without any reason, and they blame to us. They come against us, and they like to hurt others. And maybe they caught up with their own emotions, and they caught up with their own karma, and they don't know how to do. They have no idea regarding life. So then what happened? If you able to see that deeply, you build up a connection with the entire this universe, and that compassion is become more stronger, stronger, stronger than you think, and it make you more wiser, and it make your path more clear. So remember then, practice it knowingly, practice it knowingly, tolerance, and get it, and appreciate this life. And you no need to go with anything, go against anything, whatever comes, let it come, let it be. At least even when you practice, whatever happen, even maybe children playing, that is the best for that child. Maybe somebody watching TV, or maybe somebody cooking, maybe somebody eating, you know so that's the best for that person, thinking, that person believing and enjoying that. So have the compassion. Once you have the compassion, right away resistance disappear and cool down. So that is a method, deeply binding each other. So that way, remember, conventionally you have to practice, and then little by little, apply it to your deeper, the vipassana level of the tolerance. And then you will see deeply, and your view going to become little by little, bigger, higher, deeper. So with that, I bless upon everyone with this good practice. May all of you be well, happy and peaceful. May no harm come to you, may no difficulties come to you, may no problems come to you. May you also have the patience, courage, understanding, and determination to meet and overcome inevitable difficulties in your life. During this time period, may everyone stay healthy and safe. And finally, may all of you attain supreme bliss of Nibbana. Sabbityo vajjantu sabbarogo vinassatu mate bhavatvantarayo sukhi digayuko bhavat. Ittavata chammi sampadam punya sampadam sabbe deva anumodantu sabba sampatti siddhya. Sabbe bhuta anumodantu sabba sampatti siddhya. Sabbe satta anumodantu sabba sampatti siddhya. Idam me punya kammang acavakkayavang hotu sabba dukkha pamuncatu. Bless you.